In 1872, when the Netherlands was busy preparing to attack Aceh, Multatuli sadly recalled a confession when speaking at a meeting in Wiesbaden. He said, "When the Dutch fought for their independence from Spain, the Kingdom of Aceh was the first to recognize the Netherlands as an independent nation." About 2 centuries earlier, on August 23, 1601, a third Dutch group arrived led by Commissioner Gerard de Roy and Admiral Bicker with 4 ships, Zeelandia, Middelborg, Langhe Bracke and Sonne, at the Port of Aceh. Their arrival was at the behest of Prince Maurits. Both received orders to give a letter and several gifts to Sultan of Aceh. The letter is in the form of a charter decorated with beautiful hand carvings with flower letters, made by golden ink, and signed by Prince Maurits himself. In addition to bringing a letter from Prince Maurits, de Roy and Bicker's entourage also brought an introduction letter from the king on Amasiuan Island, in East Africa. It seems that Prince Maurits already knew of good relations between Aceh and the king in East Africa, and he used it for Dutch diplomatic purposes with Aceh. Thus a letter from Prince Maurits was welcomed with a grand ceremony in Aceh. In an audience with the Sultan, Bicker showed disappointment and regret over Van Cuden's actions. He promised that when he returned to the Netherlands, he would sue Van Cuden's boss to pay compensation to the owner of the Aceh ship that had been hijacked by Van Cuden. Once in the Netherlands, Bicker's promise was fulfilled and then paid to the Aceh boat owner who had been robbed by Van Cuden. Through this diplomatic mission, Bicker was also able to free Frederik de Houtman and 8 other Dutch prisoners in Aceh. Furthermore, the Sultanate of Aceh instead sent delegates to directly observe the Netherlands. On the 20th of July 1602, a group of Dutch ships together with the Aceh delegation arrived safely in Zeeland, the Netherlands. The Acehnese delegation who departed along with the Dutch ship consisted of Abdulhamid as the head of the delegation, as its members were Sri Muhammad, Admiral Aceh, and Mir Hassan. In addition, an interpreter named Leonard Werner alias Poosk Kamis, from Luxembourg joined the delegation in Aceh. Also participate in the entourage of accompanists as needed and not miss the Arab merchants. Besides goodwill, the purpose of the Acehnese departure envoy was also to learn the extent to which Aceh could enter into relations with the Netherlands if Aceh instead decided block all of the trade ties with the Portuguese. Emmanuel van Matern told of the Sultan's desire through the Aceh delegation to find out whether or not the Portuguese story said that there are no white people apart from citizens shelter under the King of Spain and the Portuguese, for which reason they assume that our nation is a mere pirate, until later they themselves get to know the truth. During the Aceh delegation's visit, Prince Maurits was on the battlefield with a large headquarters in a village called Gravenhage, and the Aceh delegation wanted to meet Maurits directly at his place. Accompanied by the Dutch, on September 1, 1602, a delegation from Middelborg departed for the Maurits headquarters. And Prince Maurits had arranged a welcome ceremony which was quite flashy. On that occasion submitted letters and all gifts. To the Aceh delegation Maurits shown the results of the war against Spain and also paid attention to the battlefield. The Aceh delegation also used the opportunity to observe the cities and villages in the Netherlands. Then, after being around for 16 months, until the 18th of December 1603, the Aceh delegation visiting the Netherlands returned with Stephen van der Hogen's entourage. On their way home, Stephen van der Hogens also visited India, where the Dutch also succeeded in getting from the Sultan of Aceh an introduction letter to Sultan Akbar, one of the great kings in India at that time. At this time the Sultan of Aceh did have a very close relationship with Sultan Akbar. So, with the introductory letter the Dutch received trading facilities in major cities in India, such as Kambay or Gujarat. Also, the Sultan had willingly given a letter of introduction to the Dutch envoy for the Calicut king, the kings of Bengal and Ceylon. While in Aceh, the Netherlands was permitted to establish a trading office by the Sultan, which was opened in the capital of Aceh, Darussalam. In the departure of the Acehese envoy to the Netherlands, it can be noted that the sovereign kingdom first recognized the birth of a newly sovereign Dutch state at that time by de jure and de facto is the Kingdom of Aceh. In fact, the Dutch economy and international relations were greatly helped by Aceh. However, now the Netherlands is the only country that wants to eliminate Aceh's sovereignty. How the honey reciprocated by poison. Therefore, Multatuli strongly denounced the Dutch very ungrateful action on Aceh. According to Deru, Prince Maurits's letter was discovered when the palace of Aceh was occupied by the Dutch in 1874 and stored in good condition. The letter was met by a Dutch fusilier when the invasion was held. Then, he sold it to elder scheme-maker who had bought the manuscript for the government of the Dutch East Indies. This letter was written in Spanish, which contained Prince Maurits' remorse for the bad behavior of the Dutch people in Aceh, requesting improved relations between the Netherlands and Aceh, willingness to pay compensation to make up for the previous bad behavior of the Dutch in Aceh, and to deliver various gifts.